Hello, Zeb Aurelios from Star Wars Rebels, and you're listening to Inside the Force. Carabas. Gotta go, Hera's here.
It is a period of Star Wars mania, as new movies, comic books, novels, and TV shows populate the system. Fueled by their love and passion for the galaxy far, far away, two exceptional geeks tap into hundreds of holocrons in order to bring you the knowledge and insight of all things Star Wars. Come and join them as they go inside the Force.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Inside the Force. Dave Cottingham here with Casey Cooley.
Hello, everybody.
And we are here in mid-February here, delivering another episode of Inside the Force as we count our days to the next Star Wars film,
Yes.
Solo.
Yes.
So we got some stuff to talk about, of course, with that as things are starting to really pick up as far as marketing and merchandise and all that good stuff. We also got Rebels returning just around the corner here in a couple days. So we got a lot of stuff we want to kind of predict about that because that series is unfortunately coming to an end here in about, 4 weeks, I think?
March, yeah, about month-ish.
Yeah, I think just 4 weeks of episodes. Back-to-back kind of episodes and then the 90-minute finale that will end the series. And then, of course, we're still in Empire month, so we got some stuff to talk about with the Empire that I'll bring up. Casey actually has no idea when I'm going to ask him about that.
I don't know what's going on.
So, pretty cool thing. I actually put it out on as a poll on our Twitter that I want to hit up. All right, so we'll dive right in. Got a lot of Solo stuff to talk about here.
Exactly. So, my goodness. Since last week, I guess, or last weekend, we got a teaser poster.
Yes.
I mean, it's nothing new. It's basically those individual character posters superimposed on each other, but we did get to see Woody Harrelson's character.
That's right.
Tobias Beckett. Got to see, I guess they're calling her Leet, the droid, LE37, something like that, I think. Just going off basically memory. I haven't.
LL37, I think.
LL37. So, has Chewie, Lando, Kira, Han, obviously. So everybody's there pretty much. It's pretty cool. Nice little poster. And then little nuggets. I mean, I think now we're finally getting into the rhythm of some Solo marketing, hopefully now, because we got this big announcement of all the publishing books and comics and all kinds of stuff that are basically it's the journey to Solo is what it is. Yes. Which I don't know why they haven't done this for for Rogue One. I don't know why they didn't do it for Rogue One, but hopefully they'll be the tradition of we'll have a journey to every Star Wars movie so we can get more, just more content.
Right.
But yeah, the other day we'll talk more about it. But yeah, adult novel, young adult novel, a lot of children's books, and obviously the visual dictionaries and all that awesome stuff, which is it's just very, very exciting. Some new comics that are really cool. Can't wait to read them. So talk about that in a minute. But just today, actually, earlier today, in New York is a toy fair going on, and Hasbro had their big panel talking about just the different franchises of toys that they're going to be releasing, and I think they capped it off with Star Wars toys, and they had some cool stuff with like Jabba's sail barge, but they did show a few items regarding Solo, and they showed like a Kira toy. They showed some other figures. They have a special figure that features Solo and Chewie. It's a Mim Bam version of them, where it's really interesting. I'll have to see if I can pull this picture up and show it to you. But it's basically Han Solo and Chewie, and they're covered in mud, and they have shackles on their ankles, and it says like they're a Mim Bam. So there's a picture I'm showing you right now.
Oh, yeah.
Our Reddit correspondent Cody Geiler sent me the link. It's official, but he got it from Reddit. It's an official photo of the toys, but it's pretty cool. I mean, it almost looks like Han Solo. This toy, though, almost like he's dressed in some kind of Imperial-ish outfit. Like he's got some kind of armor on him, something along those lines. So, speculating, theorizing with the movie, like he's in the Imperial Academy, and he could be arrested and imprisoned. That's how he gets out of it. I guess he's arrested and then he breaks free of it on Mim Bam. So Mimban. Sorry, Mimban. But I mean, interesting little toy. Chewy, covered in mud. Never expected that to be a toy, but pretty cool. And they also showed more details about the Falcon toy, the new Falcon in the movie, and some new details about it, and officially showing how that middle piece in between the forks of the Falcon tips comes out. So it is a ship of some sort, or perhaps an escape pod of some sort. Comes out the middle there, revealing it to be the original looking Falcon. But in the toy, the Falcon toy, that piece comes out. You can put a figure inside of it, and it can kind of serve as like a ship or escape pod type of thing. So not sure of its function yet. We'll see that maybe in a trailer, or maybe they'll hold that off for the movie. But it looks pretty cool, and it's also interesting because the Falcon toy, like pieces of the top kind of break off, like almost like it's being damaged and pieces are flaking off, and so it's like battle worn. And it's interesting because the top layers come off, and what's underneath looks more like the Falcon from A New Hope. So it just makes you think that in this movie, the Falcon's going to get really damaged and really messed up to the point where it will be almost unrecognizable as it originally was in the Solo film, but we will know it to be resemblance of what it looks like in A New Hope. So like that, the little tiny ship that's between the forks will get lost and destroyed. Pieces of the ship will fly off. The blue paint might even get stripped, So I think it's going to get really whittled down to how it looks in A New Hope and what we all know that Falcon to be. So very interesting. I actually really, really love to have this Falcon toy. It looks nice. It's a nice looking ship. So yeah, pretty cool. So a lot of toys, a lot of announcements here and there from Solo this past week. We'll talk more in details about it. But another movie news shortly. Coming up on the release of the Last Jedi novel and the Blu-rays, that's still coming out pretty soon. And
coming in March, right?
March. We'll get the book first, so I will definitely read that as fast as possible. Since it's interesting because they're even toting it as like the expanded version of the Last Jedi because they are adding new scenes to it. So very excited to see what new things we will get from that book.
Yes. Well, I guess we go ahead and get in and talk about those books.
All right, let's do it.
Because Rebels, we can get into that in a second. But, well, yeah, I'll mention that in a second. Okay, books. Yeah, so like Casey mentioned, the novel, I guess they haven't, what's kind of strange is I'm assuming we're going to get a novelization of the movie.
It's true that hasn't been announced.
Which hasn't been announced.
Yeah.
But this book that's coming out, this adult novel called Last Shot, written by Daniel Jose Older, will be out April 17th, which is surprising. That's coming before the movie. Not too surprising, but it's a little surprising just because it covers so much time.
Seems like it, yeah.
Apparently, it spans decades, and there's really cool covers because it's got Han on the front, and then
what's a reversible cover?
On the back cover. What do you mean reversible?
Like you actually can flip it inside out. That's what
I thought it was just the back cover. No,
and I'm pretty sure it's the reversible because I saw. Let me see if I can pull up a tweet.
Well, yeah.
But Jennifer Heddle, I think, has posted a picture of how you can turn
it?
the cover.
Oh, turn it around.
But there is like an exclusive convention version too with Chewie.
With Chewie, yeah. Well, Chewie and L337.
Elite.
So it's L337.
L337. So here's a.
Yeah, I saw that. I thought.
So basically, you could take the jacket off.
Oh,
and flip it. It's a reversible jacket.
So the back has just the Falcon on it. Okay. So yeah, so it's Han and then Lando, and each of them it's a silhouette of them, and then they have kind of an imprint of their version of the Falcon.
That's true. Yeah, their version,
which is weird.
That's funny
because it doesn't look anything like the same ship. To be honest, like the shape is there, but it clearly looks like the A New Hope ship and the Solo ship. You know what I mean? So it's like how it gets from there to there. I guess we'll find out.
That's crazy.
Because I did see a tweet again, a lot of the speculation on social media right now is, how is that Falcon the same Falcon? How is that Falcon the same Falcon? And someone, I think Pablo tweeted something, and someone replied saying, "Oh, it can't be the same ship. It's, can't be the same Falcon. You can tell it's different." And then Pablo replied to that saying, explained in the movie Solo? Question mark. So it's like, we're gonna get the answer.
Yes,
we're gonna get what happens, and I mean, I'm sure they had to have thought about that. Blah 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 blah.
Oh,
so,
yeah, people are really,
really
going crazy about it.
They are, and I'm one of them in a sense. But I feel confident that I'm going to get the answers.
More so than, all right, people are more mad about the Falcon than they are about Han Solo, it seems like.
And maybe that's the intent.
Take your attention.
Don't you think? I mean, it's possible.
That's funny.
That because if everything else is the same, why am I getting a different Han Solo, right? But if something else is different, then my attention is. I mean, it's very good marketing, possibly, that they actually thought of how do we deflect, the character of Han. Yeah. Oh, well, let's modify the Falcon so that people talk about the Falcon crazy.
I mean, the Falcon is such a character. It's funny because everybody's so.
Oh, it's very important.
Yeah, it's great. I'm glad that there's so much passion, but it's just funny that people are more passionate about the look of this ship than they are about the look of a character. I mean, they're both of it, but I'm hearing more about the ship than I am of Han Solo.
Yeah, very much so. So I'm going to try to find this tweet, but here it is right here. It says, because he talks about YT 1300s. He tweeted YT 1300s everywhere, episode 2 and 3.
Right.
And he puts out there's 2 of them in episode 2. Really hard to spot because they're right on the edge of the frame.
Right. Yeah.
So there's 2 of them literally sitting right next to each other. But again, see how they look like the New Hope ones, right? I mean, they pretty much look like the New Hope ones. My favorite thing about this blowing everyone's mind is that it's been there for 16 years. But that's not the tweet that I noticed. Show this thread. So anyway, I'll scan it here in a second. But so going down these books here, you got The Last Shot as a. Now, of course, this says, like it says, it's spanning decades. It's from the time before Han and Lando ever met to a time after the destruction of the Empire, and then features the time beyond episode 6, because there's stuff about Ben Solo in there as well. So you have early parts of Han before he met Lando. Then you have stuff in between this movie and episode 4. And then you have beyond episode 6. So you almost, it's in my mind, right when I'm hear this, it's like, because there were talks about whether or not, if this does well, do we get another Solo movie? And I feel like this actually fills in all the gaps.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know how much. I really think this probably is just a one-off film, but and then you have a young adult novel coming out called Most Wanted, which focuses on Kira and Han as they are teenagers growing up on Corellia, which I think is actually pretty neat too. I might definitely dive into that. You have another Lando series called Double or Nothing. That hits shelves on May 29th, so that's right after the movie comes out. And the Most Wanted novel comes out the day of the movie, 5/25, May 25th. So you've got
pretty much everything else comes out the same day as well.
Pretty much all the 25th, right?
Yeah, you have just the young adult novel comes. I'm sorry, the Lando comic comes after, the adult novel comes before, but everything else is...
The Wednesday before, basically, is when issue number 1 will drop. It's a 5-issue miniseries written by Rodney Barnes. And so that's Lando. And then, like you said, you got a ton of kids' books from there, focusing on
stickers, sticker books.
Stickers, books. You got one from, the Little Golden Books. And then you got your Star Wars Adventures comic series from IDW that's focusing on... I thought that was pretty neat because that actually has what looks like the regular Falcon.
So that's got to be after the Solo movie. That's interesting.
And then you got the art of Solo, and then you got the official guide that Pablo does, which is everything that's in there. I'm interested because that has the cross-section artwork for the Falcon in that.
Yes, I know.
So that's where I'm like, okay.
And it's got his dice in there.
I wonder if it shows, it might show what Lando modified. And then
maybe Lando added the little ship. I don't know.
I think he may have. I think he did a lot of this, is what he did. I think he souped it up, and you got some collector's edition, you got all this stuff, blah, 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 blah. So you got tons and tons of, I think 23 or 24, different types of books coming out. I was interested that there wasn't a Han comic series announced necessarily, but just a Lando.
Right. There's this one book, I can't tell, I guess it's just a children's little short book, but it's called The Mighty Chewbacca in the Forest of Fear by Tom Engelberger. On the cover has Chewie and a golden tuca, which I actually thought was a loth cat, but golden tuca, another character, a new character named Maeve Trillick, and K2SO. So
yes,
Chewie meets K2SO.
Oh, that actually is K2?
It says here that Chewie thinks he's just a cargo droid, but the readers will recognize as K2SO from Rogue One, who's on a mission for Cassian Andor. So this is before Rogue One, obviously, after Solo.
Huh.
So basically in that, 10, 13, however many year gap. Crazy. So that caught my eye, but everything else, looks good. These IDW comics, looks like they're after Solo before A New Hope. Yeah, all that stuff. And they actually, that's clearly the young Alden Solo style, but he has the black pants with the red stripes.
Oh, yeah.
But I wonder, because I haven't seen that in the film yet,
no.
those kind of pants, but he could be wearing it right there on the visual dictionary cover. You just can't see it. So, I don't know, this might have to be my costume for Halloween, this new Solo. I've been just about every other iteration of Han Solo. So this is going to be the next one. I'm excited for these books. These books look really cool.
Yeah, I am too. Cannot find it. What he replied, but so Solo, of course, just the cool thing too is if you haven't checked it out, StarWars.com keeps updating their site on the Solo site. So if you go to films, and you can find it there now with the teaser poster that's with the collage that Casey mentioned. And then, of course, they keep adding more stuff. You got the teaser there, teaser trailer there, teaser posters there, as well as now they have a gallery of images that you can see a bunch of stuff. Data bank, they're adding more stuff to the data bank. Actually, I'm curious about the Falcon. Looks like they might have updated the Falcon. Despite her humble origins and shabby exterior, the Millennium Falcon has played a role in some of the greatest victories of the Rebel Alliance and the New Republic. The Falcon looks like a worn-out junker, but underneath her hull, she's full of surprises. A succession of owners from Lando and Han to Duquesne have made special modifications that boosted the freighter's speed, shielding, and firepower to impressive and downright illegal levels. The price of such tinkering? The Falcon can be unpredictable, with her hyperdrive particularly bulky. Despite her flaws, she's beloved by her owners. Han Solo and Chewbacca have spent years searching the galaxy for the ship they once called home. So, and they have listed it as an appearance already, Solo, a Star Wars story, as well as still 4, 5, 6, 3, 7, and 8.
3. So
it's still in episode 3.
So that is canon.
Now, so the YT freighters that you see in episode 1 are not the Falcon.
Is it 1 or 2?
Episode 1.
1.
There's I'm sorry, you're right. Episode 2.
Is it Naboo?
In Naboo, when they come from the refugee ship to land on
right.
Naboo, there's a couple laying there. So that is not the Falcon.
Right.
Those are just YT 1300 freighters. And but episode 3, apparently, it is approaching the Senate Hall. Still, that's canon, so we'll see. But anyway, all kinds of stuff in there from the Solo site. Good images, and all that's good stuff. So,
see, I see it almost as if in Solo, like Lando found this ship or has this ship, and he got it, and it was like a busted up vehicle, and he really changed it to make it look classy and swag. But it's almost very superficial. Like he put stuff on the surface of it and painted it up to make it look nice, but I think it's going to break off very easily. Like it's still a piece of junk, so I feel like it's going to become shatters pretty quickly in the movie. And then I don't know, just my theorizing.
So it's funny I just clicked on the data because they had on the Solo site at the bottom they had a databank entries and they had a picture of Alden with Han Solo.
Yeah.
But when you click on it, it goes to a picture of Harrison Ford in episode 5.
Yeah.
But and there's no other pictures of Alden on there. But you go down and there's a gallery called the Han Solo Biography Gallery. Mm-hmm. You click on that, and it's everything of Harrison Ford, not Alden yet.
Yeah. So
it's not Alden's not on there yet. I'm assuming that'll be on there when the movie comes out, but we'll see. Mm-hmm. All right. Quick side note on news again before we get into some topics here. Some interesting news I just read that that was a little different. I didn't actually know this until I just read it, but Smuggler's Bounty Box. If anybody,
right.
Have you seen that?
I've heard about this. Yeah.
If anybody's subscribed to that, they're actually ending the subscription model. Mm-hmm. The subscription model is that every other month you get a subscription box from Funko that has exclusive Star Wars material in it. Either mostly it's a Funko Pop with a T-shirt and stuff like that. Sometimes it's comics, socks, whatever. And you pay either monthly or each time they come out, or you pay a yearly subscription. Anyway, those subscriptions are ending. They're apparently cutting the auto subscription and basically making a retail box. Mm-hmm. So as a subscriber, you could still get first access to buy in it, but you're basically just not pre-buying an annual subscription. You're paying. You have a window of an opportunity to pay for a box and get it, and then it's actually open to the public to really, I'm assuming, to buy it as well. So they're trying to make them a little more limited, apparently.
Okay.
I don't know.
Interesting.
So I actually ended my subscription because I was going to wait, because usually as a member, what happens is once they release the box, because they don't release what's in it obviously before you get it.
Yeah.
So I was actually going to wait because as a member you get exclusive rights to reorder some boxes. So I was actually going to wait till it got, released and then see some unboxing videos and then be like, oh, I really want that, and then get on there and buy it. So I don't, so I guess you could still do that. Maybe, I don't know if they're going to allow you to do that. But anyway, it's for those of you who are subscribed, it's going to change. I don't think the change actually happens till September, is what it says. But you might want to log in and kind of check on that if you're a part of that. Some real quick side news as well from Solo. Do you see that Jon Favreau is voicing a character?
That's right. Forgot to mention that. Don't know the name of the character yet, but that alien creature.
It's the alien. Yeah, it's the
trailer.
alien on the trailer, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So Jon Favreau, if you guys don't know, he's the director from Iron Man 2. He's directing The Lion King right now, the new feature
voice
animated.
of Pre Vizsla.
Pre Vizsla, that's correct. Yes. So he's got Star Wars ties. Fantastic actor from when he was younger.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other quick thing, well, I think that's it really news-wise. I mean, if anybody, they did release those Black Series figures. I don't know if you saw those.
Saw some of those.
The Lando actually looks really cool.
Lando's really nice.
This looks really cool. So they got 6-inch Black Series figures previewed of the characters. That's coming. I mean, it's just slamming it down pretty fast with 3 months to go. But some great stuff out there for that. I'll say that real quick on our website, InsideTheForce.com, of course, on our links we put out. Russell did a big slew of comic reviews. Mm-hmm. So go check those out. Dr. Aphra 16, which came out, I think it came out last week, as well as that DJ comic that we kind of briefly talked about here. Star Wars 43, which just came out this past week, and then also he did Thrawn #1, which is the we mentioned this when it got released. It's the comic adaptation of the Timothy Zahn book Thrawn, the canon Thrawn book, and this is a 6-part series. It's just translating. I actually read it the other day. Really cool because it is really I mean, it's pretty much right from the book. And I don't know if I mentioned the character, but Vanko, Eli Vanko,
Vantos? Is it Eli Vantos or Vanko?
Vantos or something like that. Yeah, his translator in the he's a really, really cool character.
Oh yeah, I love him from the book.
Yeah, he's great in the book. The only thing I totally. Now did you listen to it or did you read it?
I listened to it.
See, I can't remember. Do you remember? So remember in the audiobook when Thrawn when he's in a conversation with somebody, he narrates like what he's sensing and seeing from them.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I don't know is that in the book? I guess is that written in the book that he's doing that?
Like
I'm assuming it is.
Yeah, it's like I think it's like italicized kind of asides like in the paragraph there.
Yeah. So in the comic right now, he's not doing that. Like it's not
you don't see that.
You don't read that. Which as I was reading the comic, I was like, "Oh man, I wish they would have," because that was the greatest thing about the audiobook of it was that you hear his voice as he's as someone's talking. He's like. He swings sides. He tilts his head to the left. Looking flustered. Or I mean, he's just analyzing everything.
He's basically Sherlock for the Empire. He's Sherlock Holmes. That's why. Yeah, it's great.
It is great. So he's basically way ahead of you before you even know it. So those comics are out there. Also, what's out there that I read is Darth Vader #11, the new Volume 2 series that Charles Soule's writing. This starts another arc where he's starting to hunt Jedi with his Inquisitors. So the Inquisitors are the guys that he's kind of gathered together, that the Emperor has gathered together. So he's hunting Jedi, and this issue is really good. So issue 11 is out there now of that. So a lot of comics out there. Get your hands on those. If you want to listen to, or if you want to read some reviews, get on our website, InsideTheForce.com. Russell's got a ton of them on there. Okay, so Rebels. Rebels is coming back this Monday, February 19th on Disney XD. The episode is called Jedi Knight. Night, not Knight. And I can't remember. I'm trying to pull it up right now, but I don't think it's I don't think that's a 2-parter. I think there's 2 episodes, right?
Like in the same like that, how they have been
I
doing
think it's
it.
Jedi Knight, and then there's another episode,
I
but
think that's
I'll look
right.
that up. But anyway, I don't. Did you see the quick preview of it?
I actually haven't. No, what is it with Thrawn and Hera? That one?
No, the one I saw was kind of. I think it was actually probably the beginning of the
Oh, okay.
episode where Kanan cuts his hair,
Oh, okay. No, I didn't see
shaves
that
his face,
Mm-hmm.
and they're going off to save Hera. It was really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's. I don't know. I keep, and then I keep seeing these tweets that are like from the cast and from Star
Yeah.
Wars. And it's like, I mean, they're building something. That's why I wanted to talk about it. Like that's why I didn't think about it at first, but I was thinking like we need to predict where we think this is going to go. So, and I haven't really done much thinking about it because I usually don't think about Rebels until it comes on, and then I dissect it as it goes through. But really, what I was wanting to do is just kind of like we do with the movies, like there's 8 episodes left or something like that. How do we think it's going to end? Like, where is it going to go? And then basically, like, what's the fate of our Ghost Crew here? You know what I mean? Like, who survives? I mean, we know who definitely survives,
Right.
but of the others, it's like who is it?
It's so hard. It's almost just pure guess right now. Like, there's really no way to know. But like, yeah. So definitely Hera, definitely Chopper.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, so let me ask you this, because the series starts obviously on Lothal, and it looks like we're back on Lothal. You know, it's kind of done this whole series arc where after 4 seasons we're back to Lothal.
Right.
Does the rest of this series, does it end? Do we end on Lothal, or do you think it goes somewhere else?
Well, it seems like it will end on Lothal. It's kind of what to end Ezra's story. But yeah, so I guess setting wise, it seems like it'll be on Lothal, and it definitely seems like people like Kanan and Ezra. They are. Let's be honest, they are the big question. These 2 guys, and it's like, well, they have to die, right? They have to die. It's like, well, I mean, it seems like they should, but I don't. You know, you can find a way to not do that. I mean, Dave Filoni still left it up in the air for Ahsoka. Really, I mean, it's still a question whether or not she's really dead or not.
Right.
And even Dave Filoni has kind of played around with saying that, you know, with his little T-shirt thing he did at the celebration of, she's alive or she's dead. But, oh gosh, I feel like Sabine will survive. She'll just live on Mandalore. I feel like Zeb will survive. If anything, he may go back to his home planet, or just fall into the ranks of.
Well,
the rebellion.
they saved his race on that other planet, right? Yeah.
So I feel like he can go there, or just keep fighting, just kind of be washed out with the other soldiers of the the rebellion. Gosh, I feel like kind of how I think maybe it's more like maybe how I would do it, but Kanan could probably will die. I think Kanan probably will die. Ezra, though, I feel like Ezra could. It is likely that he could just kind of stay on Lothal, you know. But the thing is, it's just hard for me to. If the rebellion knows he's alive, it's hard for me to get behind them not ever trying to bring him back.
Correct.
Like they do with Obi-Wan.
Right.
So it's almost like they think he's dead, or they think he's got to be dead. At least they think he is. So maybe if there's a way that it's left to believe that he's dead at the end of the series, but he's still alive on Lothal, or they just definitely write him off. It's like, oh, you're on Lothal, we're never going to bother you ever again, even if things go really bad. We're never going to bother you. That I don't know. Those are the 2 options for me, but I don't think he'll go evil and become a bad guy or whatever, a Sith or anything like that. So I feel like they'll all pretty much will survive it, except for Kanan and maybe Ezra. I don't know.
I think that. Well. Before I say, do you think, because you brought it up, do you think at all by the end of the series have any resolution with Ahsoka? Or do you think
Gosh,
that's going to be...
that would just be a total shock if she's brought back. I don't think, it doesn't seem like it. I mean, I'm not led to believe that she'll come back.
I know.
But she could. Heck, I didn't think about it until you just said it. She could.
I mean, I don't see why she would show up on Lothal all of a sudden unless she is alive and then thought, I want to come help
Like
my
she
friends.
just senses it or something, yeah.
But I really don't know where her story goes because I don't know how it could go anywhere now that we're closer to the films, the original trilogy. I don't know. I almost think that maybe her story did end because this story is about Ezra. This story is about Kanan and the Ghost Crew. I do think so. I found it again, but this on February 19th we get Jedi Knight, and then we get Doom, D-U-M-E, which is Caleb
Doom.
Caleb Doom, his name, Kanan's last name, Kanan Jarrus. So it's I definitely think that, and just so everybody knows, oh man, so Monday the 19th. A week later is Monday, February 26th, which has 2 more episodes, Wolves and a Door, and then A World Between Worlds. And then on Monday, March 5th, premiere telecast of A Fool's Hope at 8:30, and Family Reunion and Farewell. So it's only 3 weeks. That's it. 3 weeks of episodes.
Fast.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Basically 7 episodes.
Did they do it every week? Every week they had 2 episodes.
Pretty much they did.
That's so strange that they did that this
I know.
time,
I don't know.
this season.
I
They
don't know.
got it done with fast.
Yeah, I don't know why they grouped them in so fast. But March 5th, it's over. That's crazy. So 3 weeks will be
So we'll
finished.
get the end of that before Lexington Comic-Con.
We will.
Yeah.
You're right.
Dang
That's
it.
right.
So we'll see the end. Yeah, we'll see Palpatine's stuff.
Yes.
Interesting.
So my predictions really, I think, of the crew in a way, I think that I gotta believe that Kanan and Ezra die.
Both die.
And you know, the only thing that's making me say that, to be honest, is that scene in Rogue One when Bail and Mothma walk over,
yeah,
and she specifically doesn't say his name because she knows that Bail knows who she's talking about. Your Jedi friend. It's like if they were still around, it'd be like, well, which one you're talking about?
Yeah, we have 3 Jedi.
Yeah,
Ahsoka's 4.
Yeah,
she's
so
still alive.
I gotta feel like that if there's 2 years still, right? Because I think this ends around 2 years or a year before Rogue One. That time has passed, and these rebels feel like that there aren't any other Jedis around to help them. That this is it. Because Mothma again has met them, and knows about Kanan, knows about Ezra. Does she know? I guess. What we don't know is at what point does she know that Obi-Wan survived and is hiding? Right? I don't know.
Or if she knows it's Obi-Wan. I mean,
that's true too.
I mean,
how does she even know that there's a?
Bail could have just been like, "I have a guy. He's a Jedi. He's hiding somewhere."
At some point, he told her that there are. And then does she know about Yoda?
Yeah,
I guess. Does Bail know that Yoda's still alive? Maybe. I don't know. Because that's the thing we could find out in a Obi-Wan movie is Bail and Obi-Wan do somehow keep in contact.
Right. Right.
Because how could he, if he hadn't talked to him in 19 years, how does he even know he's alive? Right?
Yeah.
So it's possible. So, you think about that, but you think about that line. That line right there just kind of throws me off that if Mothma knew about Kanan and Ezra, then she would have. I feel like in that instance, she would have been like, "Okay, it's time. Let's get all of the Jedi together and let's." But I feel like she doesn't think at that point that they're around.
Right. It's just so. I mean, it's just hard for me to say. Like, again, like it's such an easy thing. Oh, we'll have to kill Ezra and have to kill Kanan. But like, I definitely can see like in the last episode maybe or last 2-3 episodes, like Kanan dies first, which pushes Ezra to like really motivate him to defeat whatever Thrawn or whoever they're fighting at the very end, and then like, almost like a Rogue One thing, Ezra dies saving Lothal, and then the rebels live on to fight in his memory, kind of a thing. But or he does that, but he's still not dead. He just thinks he is, or everybody thinks he is, or something like that. But no, I just like to be optimistic. Like he just can't just die. He can't just kill these people.
Yeah, and it sucks because you kind of see I think we finally get the full affection that Hera and Kanan share, and we know because there's comics and Forces of Destiny that shows that Hera survived through episode 4, 5, and 6, but there's no Kanan around. So you would think that they would have been together still or stuck together. So I think something has to give there. And we know the ghost survives.
Right.
But I agree with you. I think Sabine survives. I think she goes back to Mandalore, and I think we're going to get more of her. I feel like there's going to be a lot more Mandalorian stories and stuff like that. I feel like Zeb. Maybe, like you say, I think he does go to his, or he's still on the Ghost, and we just haven't seen him yet.
That's true.
You know what I mean? We all know what happens to Captain Rex. He's in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, we know. We know
he stays with the rebellion. Of course, Chopper we know is still around. So
yeah,
I think I just think something has to happen to Ezra and Kanan, and I think you're right. I think it's possible that they do a lot for the rebellion. I think they sacrifice them. Now, the question becomes too: I don't think we have seen it. Right? Have they actually fully adopted that rebellion symbol yet?
I haven't seen it. I don't think I've seen it.
Yeah, I don't. It's not on any of their helmets. I don't think yet.
The Gold Squadron guys. I don't think so. I don't know. Be good.
Because that's what I feel like. You remember that was what was so cool about the Force Unleashed was that was Galen's like symbol somehow. I think it was in their. They had that symbol on their. I don't know how. I can't remember what it was, but he had that symbol, and when he died in the game, and they kind of pushed on with the rebellion in his honor, they adopted that symbol as the rebellion symbol. And I remember at first that was canon for a little while, and then they obviously retconned it. But
here's a screenshot from Rebels of one of the pilots from Gold Squadron having the symbol on his helmet.
Oh, he does have it on his helmet,
but I don't recognize. I can't recall them ever making a big thing of it. Like, this is our symbol.
No, because remember, Sabine's symbol always looked like it.
Yeah,
like the version of it. So I guess they adopted it somehow, or I don't know.
Must have.
Well, I mean, maybe at the point when they formed the alliance, I guess I don't know.
So. Yeah.
Which again, we haven't really fully seen, right?
We just saw. All we saw was the episode of Rebels where Mon Mothma makes her big speech to everybody, and they all come over on Tatooine. They all in space. So it's just all the ships coming, and that's it.
That's basically the alliance, in a sense. So, because I thought it'd be really neat if they, if they sacrifice themselves and then they adopt the symbol based on their sacrifice. That Sabine kind of changes for them and makes it for them, but I guess if it's already there, it's already there. But so anyway, so it's 3 weeks. We're going to be all done with it. I think it's going to be one of the things where there's going to be a lot to talk about, a lot to dissect once we get there. Ian McDermott comes back as the Emperor, so there's got to be some kind of big push there. There is no mention, I don't think, of a Vader appearance again.
I think so.
Which is surprising because I feel like it would have been cool to bring him back. Thrawn obviously will still be a part of this. We don't know his fate. What do you think about his fate? Does he survive?
Man, I don't know. I mean, I would love it if he did. Like he somehow just retreats and goes back to his planet, Chiss. 'Cause that's kind of what, honestly, going back to the book, that's where I thought his Thrawn story would go, because it almost seemed like, okay, spoiler alert if you haven't read Thrawn, but at the very end you have talks about that's where Eli goes. He goes to the Chiss Ascendancy, whatever. He kind of works with those guys. So almost seemed like eventually Thrawn, once he's had his taste or fill of working for the Empire, he'll go back to his planet and try to either help them rise up or take control of it or of the planet or whatever. But that's where I would like to think, maybe, because it's just, I want more Thrawn. He's got such a crazy good legacy in the Star Wars lore. I would hate for him to end it here in Rebels. Like it's a short-lived time for Thrawn. So we're getting his book, another book with him this year, but that's still, I guess, before Rebels. I'm not quite sure the timeline with the sequel to his novel, but I would like to think that he survives and just kind of retreats back into the unknown space, regions of space, to his home planet. But let's be honest, he probably will die. It's just like he'll probably die off.
Yeah, I don't know.
Kill him in battle.
Well, the only reason I don't think that now is just because that the next novel coming out, right?
Well, I don't know. Has it said when it takes place? I think it's before Rebels still.
But that other book pretty much led up right to Rebels.
Close, yeah.
I mean, very close.
I mean,
you know what I mean? Like,
still some time, I guess, for a little mission with him and Vader.
I guess. Or this could be the book that explains why we don't see him in episode 4. Mm-hmm. Like the year in between, year or two in between this and Rebels. It's like, or Rebels and Rogue One. Mm-hmm. What happened when him and Vader went on this mission or whatever. I don't know. So that's kind of what I was thinking, but maybe not. So there's that. Thrawn is another big question mark of what happens to him through this.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like, obviously, we got so close. Well, I think Saul, I don't know if Saul's going to be back at all.
I don't think so.
We do get, we got so close. It was all those hints about how they're going to, he's off trying to figure out about the Death Star thing still. So that is but we all know that nothing happens until Rogue One.
Right.
About the Death Star. So,
I mean, the only other thing I'd be cool if we got Krennic in the show, because I think he was, has he already been referenced in this season? Because I know he was referenced in one of the trailers, but I cannot remember if that's already happened or not.
Nah, I don't remember either.
But I know he's referenced in the season, so if that's still to come, maybe an appearance will also come in this second half,
that'd be crazy.
which would be awesome.
Yeah. There's got to be some fan service.
A little bit.
In these last ones. So
Cassian, I don't know. K2SO.
Cassian, I'm surprised yet that we haven't, because he's been around for a while. As you said, he's been fighting since he was 6 years old. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Cassian.
Right. Yeah.
And then what happens to Callus?
Callus. Yeah.
Because he's not in Rogue One either.
That's true.
So there's a lot of questions. I think that I just think there's going to be a lot of something different popping up here and there, and I think we'll get a pretty good ending finally to this whole series, and which technically again is a continuation of the Clone Wars in a way, because the Clone Wars wasn't properly finished, and this kind of does that, I guess. Although I still want more. Do you think we get more? Do you think we get other Rebel stories at all?
Oh,
you know what I mean?
yeah, I
like
think that's definitely possible.
Beyond
Sure.
this, comics or
Yeah.
books or something like that. I think
probably those really short kid.
because unlike Clone Wars, I mean Clone Wars took unfinished material and made it into comics, made it into books. I don't know if there's anything unfinished in this, but maybe there's more connection they can make to Rogue One kind of stuff. I hope we still get more from Clone Wars as well,
Right.
Because I still think there's a lot of stories there that just haven't been fully wrapped. But anyway, so that starts Monday, February 19th, just a couple days from now. We will be back next week, of course, to dissect and break down those 2 episodes as we watch those on Monday, 9 o'clock and 9:30 on Disney XD. And at 10 o'clock, if you missed it, they will both be released on the Disney Now app, which is taking the Disney XD app pretty much over. Okay, so as we kind of get to our last little thing I wanted to do, since we're kind of theming these months now and hitting up Empire Month, wanted to bring up. I've been throwing out some polls out there, kind of Empire related. One of them I mentioned. I don't know if you saw these, Case, but
Yeah, I think I voted in
yeah.
pretty much all of them.
So one was, which I thought was interesting. I said, if you had enlisted into the Empire, what would you have been? And I had 4 options. I had a stormtrooper, I had a TIE pilot, I had ISB agent, which is the Imperial Security Bureau, which is basically Callus. But the 4th option, I said, join the rebellion.
Yeah. I was like, oh, never.
Well, the winner is 38% said join the rebellion.
It's funny.
ISB agent was second.
That's what I chose.
You said ISB agent? Yeah.
Probably would have been ISB.
So then I came up with the next one I put out was that we were 1 week away from Rebels. Which character Empire from the show has been your favorite? So I had Agent Callus, and I didn't want to put Thrawn or Tarkin because that's pretty obvious. So I wanted to put some different ones that were on there. Agent Callus was one. Governor Price, Admiral Constantine, and then Volt Scarus were options that were kind of characters in the Empire that kind of showed up in Rebels for the first time. So 57% was Agent Callus. I think a lot of that had to do with Callus, joining the rebellion eventually.
Yeah. Price is cool. I like Governor Price.
Yeah, I do too. I probably would have voted for Price. But the one I want to talk about a little bit, and get your opinion on, was this last one I did, which was, if you were fighting on the side of the Rebel Alliance, who would you be more afraid of? And I had Tarkin and Thrawn, just 2 answers. So, did you vote on that one?
I did.
Okay. Which one did you go with and why?
That actually was a hard question. I ultimately went with Thrawn because
More afraid of Thrawn.
because of how how he's always one step ahead. Like I just wouldn't know how to defeat him. I just wouldn't know. I don't know how I could strategize against this man because he's always 2 steps ahead of me, and he'll just defeat me no matter what I do. Because originally I was thinking Tarkin because after I read his book Tarkin by James Luceno, that made me more afraid of Tarkin because it painted a picture of Tarkin as more of just an evil man, like just almost psychopathic in a way of how he was raised on his own planet and the trials that he had to go through on his own planet. Like, it was really just twisted kind of stuff, but no, I would think I'd be more afraid of Thrawn. Also, just his visual appearance, like just the blue skin, piercing red eyes, and his voice, and just how and his physicality and how his prowess of that, and then Yeah, and just his intellect. I think it's a full package, triple threat. Like, he's a pretty scary guy.
Yeah, I would. I don't know. I think personally, I would. I'd have to say. I had to say Tarkin, though. I think I'd have to say Tarkin because Thrawn, and the thing about it is what's tough is I don't know how much I would know about this as a rebel, because unless I got firsthand knowledge of it or heard a story about it, but I would feel like there would be more stories out there about Tarkin, about how ruthless he is and how much, and at this point in time, if we're like in the Rebels era, we don't know about the Death Star.
Right.
We don't know that he's in control of it or they're even building this thing. And I don't even know. I guess Thrawn does. I mean,
Thrawn just figures everything out.
I guess.
He
yeah.
really does.
Yeah. But he's, again, he's strategically trying to capture or, rid the rebellion. I don't know if he's really doing it ruthlessly in a sense. You know what I mean? So I feel like Thrawn would be somebody that would capture you. Tarkin would be someone that just straight up execute you.
Just kill you. Yeah.
So I don't know. I think Tarkin. I think Tarkin would be my answer, but yeah, because Thrawn. I don't know. Just what I've known. That's why I'm saying as a rebel, it's like how much do I know about them? But if I heard stories about them, I think Tarkin's stories would be more scary. Because he's been around, especially him being around the Clone Wars, and a lot of people knew about him, especially people like Bale and Mothma and stuff like that. So, pretty interesting stuff. So we'll continue that discussions on the Empire stuff, especially now the Rebels is coming back, because there's going to obviously be a lot of stuff from the Empire in those stories. So, so check out those. We'll be putting out polls like that throughout this month. Follow us at Inside the Force, or go check that out. Or hashtag. I'm hashtagging all those ITF poll. So we're putting several of those out. Anyway, thanks for everybody that's voted on that stuff. It's getting a lot of good response from that. So, all right. What else? Anything else you got, Case?
I believe that is all.
So next week, again, we will be definitely back to talk about Rebels. Of course, I'm sure there's going to be more Solo news out there that's going to be coming across your way as we approach the release of that on May 25th. In fact, just a little while ago, we passed 100 days. In fact, right now, I think we're 96 days from the release of Solo, A Star Wars Story. We will be, releasing some imagery on that as we get closer. 100 days. We put out a little graphic on 100 days. 100 days. Wow.
See, that seems long time, 100 days. Like, I have to think of it like it's just a few months.
It is just a few months. It's going to be here before we know it. Okay, we appreciate everybody listening. InsideTheForce.com if you want to listen to this episode, of course, that you're listening to now, but all our past episodes. Of course, we are on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn Radio, Google Play. If you want to give us a subscribe, and follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at Inside the Force. That's it. Thanks for listening, everybody. For Casey Cooley.
The shield is up. Your signal will never reach the Rebel base. All your ships in here will be destroyed. I lose nothing but time. You, on the other hand, die with the rebellion. Orson Krennic. Right before he is physically hit with a Death Star beam. Physically hit with it.
Actually, he gets shot first, I think, right?
Gets shot
then he
first
gets physically
in the
hit.
same place that her mother shoots him, I think.
Oh, the shoulder?
But I think he gets shot twice in the shoulder. The same.
Oh my gosh,
just
you're
thinking
right.
about
Actually, I
it.
think you're right.
And then then in the face with the Death Star laser beam.
That is hilarious.
It's not. Dang it. Yeah, not a good day.
Not a good day. All right. Appreciate it, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend. We'll be back right here next week to discuss more Star Wars. He's Case.
Goodbye, everybody.
I'm Dave. May the Force be with you.
Thank you for listening to Inside the Force, a Star Wars podcast hosted by David Cottingham and Casey Cooney. For more shows, additional content, articles, and the latest Star Wars news, please visit InsideTheForce.com. Inside the Force. For the Force in all of us.